So Riot ended up buffing a ton of off-meta junglers this patch, and one in specific who's being picked at a really high rate and the most powerful of the bunch is Aatrox. Aatrox jungle is absolutely insane right now, as his clear speed is incredible, early ganks are great, and once you reach the mid-game, it's the same old Aatrox, so you know his skirmish power is going to be top tier. So in today's video, we're going to get you guys set up with everything you need to know so that you can first time Aatrox in your solo queue games and collect some free elo. So one of the most important things that you need to understand when picking Aatrox jungle is that he absolutely melts the raptor camp. You don't even need to worry about hitting your sweet spot Q on any of the small raptors, as they will just die from the regular Q damage as long as you land all three. So when killing raptors, just focus the big one with your sweet spot Q and you'll have no problems clearing the camp incredibly fast. Now you might be wondering, is it worth it to grab 2 points in Q to help with the full clear, or should you just grab a point in each of your 3 spells? The jungle clear mastermind Shapeshift has a brand new full clear for Aatrox up on our website, and this is what she discovered. If you take 2 points in Q, you will get an ever so slightly faster clear, but only by a few seconds. So you have to ask yourself, is it really worth not having a point in W or E to clear 2 or 3 seconds faster? If you are 100% certain that you aren't going to be invaded or there's no gank opportunity for you to take, then by all means go 2 points in Q. If there's even a slight chance that the enemy jungler could invade you though, just go for a point in all 3 spells so that you can skirmish most effectively. Shapeshift likes going Q at level 1, into W at level 2, and then E at level 3. For the complete blue and red side clears for Aatrox jungle, Shapeshift has a guide up on her website, and she's also helped create a clear guide for all the meta junglers in the game. So if you're a jungle main and really want to optimize your clears, this course has everything you'll need. And it's not just this one course you get access to either. When signing up with SkillCapped, you get access to hundreds of premium courses for every single role, so there's really no better place to be if you want to rank up fast. Now, when you approach ScuttleCrab, this is where you really need to focus up in order to kill Scuttle the fastest. If you lead with W, hit all your sweet spot Qs, land one auto attack, use E for the auto reset, and then land one more auto attack, the ScuttleCrab is gone. All it takes is one rotation of spells and 2 autos to kill the Scuttle, but if you don't land every single sweet spot Q, then you will have to weave in an extra auto or 2. The biggest thing that new Aatrox players will have to get used to when playing him in the jungle is the range of each of his sweet spot Qs. It's so vital that you are landing this sweet spot damage when clearing your camps to get the most out of the champ, so going into practice tool and messing around a bit before you take him into ranked is definitely recommended. When it comes down to executing ganks with Aatrox jungle, there are a few things you definitely need to be aware of. The first is that Aatrox can W flash to cancel his W animation. So this is a great combo to use if you aren't quite in range to land W and need to extend its range so that you can reach your target. Q into E to extend your Q range is also really important to know. You can Q, and then if you E immediately after, your Q range will be extended. So this one is really nice because Aatrox Q1 does provide him with the knockup if you hit the sweet spot. So using your E to ensure that it lands is vital in setting up successful ganks. In terms of the build for Aatrox jungle, there's quite a bit of optimization you can look to apply. First is that you really don't need a potion with how healthy Aatrox is able to clear. The win rate of not starting a potion is about 2% higher, so in specific situations, you should highly consider skipping out on that potion. It definitely does depend on your game plan though, because if you're planning an early invade route, then having a potion is ideal, but if you're just going to full clear your jungle, then there's much less value to purchasing a potion, as you'll be plenty healthy. As for your starting jungle item, both Scorchclaw and Gustwalker are performing pretty similar, with Scorchclaw winning out slightly. The slow that you get from Scorchclaw is quite nice to have on Aatrox because it makes landing his Qs a bit easier. At the same time though, you could argue that the movement speed from Gustwalker will allow you to line up Qs easier as well, so it more so comes down to how tanky the enemy comp is as to whether you'd want one or the other. Scorchclaw does provide the 4% max health true damage, so if you're into a more tanky comp, that's where it's going to have better value. For your rush item on Aatrox jungle, there are 2 items that you can choose between, being Voltaic Cyclosword and Sundered Sky. There's clear pros and cons to both items, as Voltaic will provide you with more damage but leaves you less durable, while Sundered Sky gives you more durability while lacking the same kind of burst threat you'd get from Voltaic. So to help choose between the 2, take a look at the enemy team comp. If the enemy team is entirely built up of squishy champions, then a Voltaic rush will be most ideal. If the enemy team consists of more bruiser or tank champs, then going Sundered Sky is more valuable because you'll need more extended fights to win out, and the durability from Sundered Sky will come in handy. From then on out, if you rush Voltaic, going into Sundered Sky 2nd and Spear of Shojin 3rd is really strong. If you rush Sundered Sky, then opting for Spear of Shojin 2nd and Sterix or Death's Dance 3rd is optimal. When choosing between Death's Dance and Sterix, it depends on who the main damage threat is on the enemy team. If the enemy has a few physical damage threats, then Death's Dance is superior because of the armor it provides. If the enemy team is more mixed damage, or if they are heavy magic damage, then Sterix value goes up because if you build Death's Dance into magic damage, you're losing quite a bit of value from the armor it provides. For the rune page, there's really nothing better than Conqueror for the Keystone rune, while Inspiration Secondary is outperforming Domination. One big disparity when it comes down to the runes in the second row of the precision tree is the heavy outperformance of Alacrity over Haste. Haste is picked in 80% of games, but in the 15% of games that players take Alacrity, they're winning 4% more, which is very significant. In theory, you'd think that the Haste would be more valuable so that Aatrox Q would be on a shorter cooldown, but the attack speed from Alacrity is proving to be much more valuable. And then for the skill order, it's the exact same as what you prioritize for top lane, with a Q max first into E second and W last. Alright guys, one last thing, our rank up guarantee is insane. It's like signing up for the gym and getting a refund if you don't get ripped. That's how confident we are in SkillCapped. We obsess over making the best guides with top players, rigorous testing, and top tier video editing to make your climb easy. If you're ready to level up, visit SkillCapped.com and see the difference. So there you have it everyone, that is everything you need to know to get started with Aatrox Jungle, as he's a really powerful pick after the recent buffs he received. Thank you all so much for watching, we'll see you in the next one.